had a couple people ask me in a previous video what I do with all the cards I opened from some of the previous videos. And although I don't know if any of those cards necessarily are in these, this is what I do. I build decks, and this is just a small sample of some of the more weird ones, and we're going to go through these. Not all in one video, mind you. I'm actually going to split this into one deck per video, because one is going to require a little bit of editing, because I'm going to try to set this up to make it to where I can go through it a little simpler for you guys. So, yeah, we're going to do one of those thingamabobs. So, yeah, I'm going to just snap, and then all this is going to be clean. Ha-ha! We're going to start with this one. And I'm going to organize it real quick. Ooh, I think I know what this one is. I'm going to organize it real quick so we can go through it a little simpler, because it's just going to look a little weird as is. We'll be back in just a second. Okay, apologies if this is a little sloppy. I don't normally do these, so this is going to be an interesting journey we're going to take together. And you guys will get to see. So we're going to start off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 lands. Oh, sorry, 17, 18, 18 lands. Yeah, and only one of them is a little different, with his Radiant Fountain, which enters the battlefield. You gain 2 life. You can tap it for a colorless. I'm pretty sure I just put that in there for the, life gain element for the most part. Now we're going to go through kind of the one thing I do want to find here. I should have put this in the front, my bad. We will, yeah, here we are. This is the only card that I remember anyway that has duplicates in this deck. I believe there's only 2. Day of the Dragons. This is what this deck, the idea of this deck is, and also kind of what I refer to this deck as, is the name, Day of Dragons. Because you might notice these are in red sleeves, and that's because, in my mind, this is a mono-red deck. And you might be saying, mono red, but it looks like it's mono blue. Are you colorblind, you freak? And I'm not colorblind, but this card is very interesting. When Day of Dragons enters the battlefield, exile all creatures you control, that then create that many 5/5 red dragon creature tokens with flying. When Day of the Dragons leaves the battlefield, sacrifice all dragons you control, then return the exiled cards to the battlefield under your control. So very simply, what this deck wants to do is get a whole bunch of token guys in, and then blammo, 7 mana comes down, and then all my little tiny 1/1s or whatever they happen to be are all now 5/5 flying red dragons. So, pretty interesting concept, I think, anyway. It's a very simple deck. I'm sure there's probably a better version, not sure, but most likely. But yeah, here's what we got. We got a Glimmer Bell. It's just flying. Pay 2 to untap it. Not bad. Just a little 2/2. Got to get some bodies on the field. This card I find very interesting. Whenever it attacks or blocks, target creature reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. I believe that is Nascent. I don't know how you say that word. Nascent Metamorph becomes a copy of that card until the end of turn. That player puts all cards revealed this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. So, basically, whenever it attacks or blocks, it just becomes whatever creature your opponent pulls off the top. So, that's kind of fun. This boy, with good old Constellation, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Protein Thaumaturge become a copy of another target creature, except it has this ability. So, it's just, interesting. Kind of copy them up. Pretty cool. Aqueous Form. Enchanted creature can't be blocked. Just want that for some stuff we might see later. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. Always good to be able to scry, see if you want the card or not. Levitation. I feel like this card is underrated. Creatures you control have flying. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people love it, but I feel like I don't see this card talked about a lot. Midnight Clock. Tap for, 1 mana, which is nice. Put an hour counter, 2 in a blue, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. At the beginning of your upkeep, of each upkeep, put an hour counter on Midnight Clock. When the 12th hour counter is put on Midnight Clock, shuffle your hand and graveyard into your library, then draw 7 cards. It just basically protects me from mill, essentially, potentially. And then you exile it. I mean, again, that's kind of tricky, but not too hard. Smoke Shroud! You know, enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. Always good. Whenever a ninja enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Smoke Shroud from a graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. So, you know, just some cool ninja-y stuff. Shadow Spear creature has +1/+1 and has trample and lifelink. Who doesn't want that? Permanents, pay 1, sorry. Permanents your opponent control. Lose hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. Very useful. Equipped for 2. Not bad. Redirect, pay 2. You may choose new targets for target spell. Good against your own spells or your opponent's, depending on the use. Confiscate, enchant permanent you control, enchanted permanent. So basically, yoink something from your opponent, always good. Turn it into a 5/5 flying red dragon later. Or just copy it with this guy, and, well, if possible. And use the heck out of it if it's stronger than this boy, you know what I'm saying? There's our second Day of Dragons. Always good to have an extras in case. This boy, you know, just taps for 2 mana. Always good, even if it's colorless. Does not matter. Hypnotic Siren. Very cool. Bestow for 7. Flying. Creature you control. Wait. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. So, you know. Yoink a creature. Aegis Turtle, always good, or Aegis, however you say that. I just like a 0/5 for 1, not bad, never bad. Void Stalker, pay 2 and a blue. Tap, put Void Stalker and target creature on top of owner's libraries. Then those players shuffle their libraries. Can be useful to get a creature off the field. Different things, shuffle your library. Sky Diamond enters tapped, you know, just a little bit of ramp. Always good to have some ramp, I feel, as a mostly green player. Flash, whenever Crafty Cutpurse enters the battlefield, each token that would be created under an opponent's control this turn is created under your control instead. So just yoink your opponent's tokens. Very nice. Another Aqueous Form. So there's a couple duplicates. Not bad. I didn't remember. Supplant Form. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. So, very interesting. Birthing Bows, just pay 4 tap, create a 2/2 colorless shapeshifter token with Changeling. It's every creature type. That can be useful in a lot of situations. Oh, come on. Having a little trouble focusing. Vigilance, whenever Farfinder Fox... Oh, wait, it's not Farfinder Fox. Probably because listen to how Farfinder sounds versus Farfinder Fox. That's a lot of fuzz. Whenever Farfinder enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Always good to get your lands. Don't miss those drops. Got another turtle, another 0/5. This boy got Defender and Flash. He 2 instead of 1. Not bad. Stolen by Fae, return target creature with converted mana cost of X to its owner's hand. You may create X 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. So, you know, say bye-bye to some kind of problem creature and also get a lot of potential creatures in the making, or as you go. Uyo, Silent Prophet, flying, pay 2, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hands. Copy, target instant or sorcery. You may choose new targets for the copy. Again, could be very useful for getting lots and lots of creatures. Scry 2 or other things. Then draw a card. Always good. Always good. Another one of those. We've already read it, so we won't do that again. Another Hypnotic Siren. Moonblade Shinobi Ninjutsu for 2 and a blue, which is very useful. Whenever Moonblade Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying. Alirius Enraptured. Very interesting. When it enters the battlefield tapped, which is kind of cool. It doesn't untap during your untap step if you control... Wait, it doesn't untap during your untap step if you control a reflection. When it enters the battlefield, create a 3/2 reflection creature token. So, very interesting. Reconnaissance Mission. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Always good to be able to draw a card in general. Fall from Favor. Enchant creature. When Fall from Favor enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, you become the monarch. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step unless the player is the monarch. Monarch, always good to have. The card draw. And we want to be drawing. We're in blue. If we're in blue and we can't draw cards, what are we doing? Uh, Calife, I don't know how you say that name. I apologize. Power is equal to your devotion to blue. Creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponents cast that target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. Always good to have something like that. Another Glimmer Bell, another Protein Thaumaturge. We got a beautiful Wall of Frost. I love me a good defender. This is 0/7. Whenever Wall of Frost blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. This can be a problem for people. I love it. Equipped creature has Vigilance and Trample and Haste. How beautiful is that for 3 and equipped for 1? It's just a Haunted Cloak. We love to see it. Good old Omni Spell Adept. I like that it's like leading me to my favorite card in this deck, pretty much, which is kind of nice. 2 and a blue. Tap it. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. It's just good, man. Faded Infatuation. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. If it's your turn, scry 2, baby. Always good. And is this the last? Okay, no, it's not the last. So we're going to do... Okay, Moonblade Shinobi. This is the last. How perfect. This is basically my go-to token engine because, like, for this deck, this card is insane. And I don't know, maybe I'm just playing it wrong. I don't think so. Whenever you draw a card, you may pay 1. If you do, there's another reason we want card draw. Put a 1/1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. So let's say we somehow draw 7 cards and have 8 mana. Or 7, you know, we just need the 7, but I'd like to have extra. Or remaining after the thing, some crazy scenario. We could potentially make 7 tokens and make this boy +7/7 stronger. The main body gets stronger and just sprouts more tentacles. And guess what? Day of the Dragon comes out. Yeah, you might lose a like 9/11 or some crap, or 9/10, I don't know. But still, you gain like 8 flying 5/5s, which are way better than 1/1s, you know, that are just in the water. But yeah, that's kind of the deck, and it's pretty interesting. These are my main cards for the deck. Obviously, you know, you create the dragon tokens. But to me, the idea of this deck, the theme behind it was I wanted a mono blue deck that became a mono red deck. You know? Just weird concept, I know, but I kind of dig it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys know if you've been watching the channel for a while. I love hearing from you guys. It is always great reading comments. I'm really looking forward to getting some more videos for you guys. I know it's been a while. I'm sorry. I do appreciate that more and more of you have been subscribing, even in the lack of content. I will be posting as soon as I can, as much as I can. So, yeah, just if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment. Obviously, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.